Welcome back to the Hermitcraft FTB monster server. And well, as you can see here, I've built another of these mana bean farms and duplicated the arrangement with the lamps of growth over there and the piping to bring the herba essentia over there to the jar to fuel them and so on, and a second set of golems and whatnot. And there's a little problem here with this design. You see right here, there's a mana bean floating there on top of that log. Now that happens every once in a while because when the one golem does the harvesting, when it harvests the mana beans, it kind of pops in a random direction. Sometimes that direction is up. And when it does that, it'll either land on top of the log or over here on top of the mana bean pod for the new one that just planted and so on. And sometimes it'll sit there until it despawns, or perhaps it'll glitch on and off of the mana bean pod, or glitch on and off of the floor even, as if it were falling to the floor but then popping back to the top and so on. And as you can see, the gather golems are trying their best to get to it, but they can't. They can't reach it. It's too high up. It's not possible for them to reach it. And so they're going to sit there basically doing everything they can to try and get it until it finally despawns 5 minutes or so from now. Meanwhile, all these other mana beans are still being harvested. And the way the situation works, especially when it's in range of both of them, and they're both trying to recover it, is that not only will this mana bean despawn, but probably at least one or two others that they won't be able, okay, once this one despawns, they'll both go back to their normal job and start picking them up. But still, because they're both involved, that means there is at least a few of these things that are going to despawn before the golems can get around to collecting them and putting them in a chest. And so I got to thinking about that, and I came up with actually what turned out to be a really simple solution to the problem. And that is simply arrange for it to not be possible for the mana beans to land either above the mana bean pod or on the woodblock ahead above it. So I did this, and you know something? It works. Oh, I missed a spot. How about that? There. But since I did this about 12 hours ago, this side has not had this problem at all. And so I am going to repeat this procedure over here. Just like so. And then this will make it impossible for this really aggravating problem to happen. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this done, and then from there we'll get on with other things. Alright, this is much better. A nice simple solution to a problem that was, while not really a very big deal, it was at the very least annoying as all get out. And the logs being here does not interfere with the essentia flow from the jar over to the lamps. As you can see, it's making its way across the top of the logs. I did find that I did have to move the pipe from, it was there, and I moved it to here, and because the stuff was actually getting hung up on the pipe. How a gas could get hung up on passing around a pipe is beyond me, but hey, this is Minecraft we're talking about. Anyway, this is now taken care of, and we are now getting a little better than double the mana bean production that we're getting before. And this one arrangement here of the arc chemical furnace and some arcane alembics and some piping and whatnot is proving quite sufficient to fuel 4 of these arcane lamps, these lamps of growth that will power everything. Now, over here you may notice that I've taken down all those Essentia jars, and that's because I'm going to redo that. I'm going to set them up over here, and I'm going to put together a system that will handle keeping these jars together, filled with Essentia pretty much mostly automatically. And it's going to be a computercraft controlled thing, and for anybody that has any kind of a guess or a clue about this, yes, I am going to blatantly copy the system that Direwolf 20 set up because it works. And that way I don't have to do a whole lot of writing code. However, in the meanwhile, there's something else I want to get to. And that I can show real simple here. If I shift and you look in the upper left hand corner, you see how much Essentia is left in that wand. And I scroll over, and this wand is down low, and this wand is really low, and so on. So there is the matter of refilling the aspects in the wand. Normally, you see all these waypoints I've got saved out here in the world. Yeah. All these freaking waypoints that are saved out here in the world, each one, most of them, are to the location of various nodes, various Essentia nodes, that I have to travel to each one of them, to several of them, in order to get this wand recharged. Now, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to do all that traveling to recharge the wands? Yeah, it's time to use, let's see, where is it? It must be up here. Okay, it's around here somewhere, the node in a jar. I am going to, there it is, node in a jar. Basically, you build a glass frame around there and put some slabs on top of it. And I need to have 70 V's. I wonder if it will tell me something different if I have that on. No, it's not going to tell me that here. But I do know that wearing the whole get-up here is going to get me a discount on the amount of V's it's going to cost to do that. Now let's see, node in a jar. Basically, I need a wand that's going to be able to deliver that much, so it's going to be over here, isn't it? Not that one. The silverwood wand core, yeah. And that's the thing I wanted, or was talking about I need. That was one of the reasons I put this mess together. Okay, so I'm going to get together the things I need, and we're going to go ahead and get that made. Alright, that was actually pretty quick and easy. Now to get this thing activated, I need a bit of silverwood in the center. I need Salus Mundus, which you make either with ethereal essence and a shard, or more ethereal essence, or 4 mana beans and a shard, and so on. I think that's one use of it. Anyway, we get back here, and you need the shards, one of each shard all the way around with the Salus Mundus, and then you hit that with 9 of each aspect. Moderate instability, so it shouldn't be too awfully big of a deal. Let's see, I'm going to need to put this out of the way, and this over here, and let's just swap the glove out for the book. Alright, so, and then over here, let's see, let me make sure I've got the order correct. Air, fire, water, earth, order, and entropy. So air, Air, fire, water, earth, order, entropy. Air, fire, water, earth, order, and entropy. Okay, so pop that on here. Okay, that should be good. Pop this on here. And now it's just going to be a matter of whack that thing with a wand. Oh no. Yeah, I forgot to make sure that I had jar. It's jars of Essentia that thing's going to, oh crap. Okay, this is going to fail. Alright. I neglected to do one essential thing, which is to make sure, not that I had a wand with these things in it, but that I had jars with that much of each of these Essentia in there. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that little problem. And towards that end, I have, see, I had actually anticipated this, and for some reason I didn't do it right. Okay, we have the alchemical furnace, we have an arcane alembic, and we have Essentia jars, and I have labels, and instead of burning a little bit of this and a little bit of that and hoping that some of what I get is going to be what I need in the jar, all I really need to do is use the mana beans. Because I have lots and lots of mana beans, so I get, for each aspect I need, I get the number, that number of, the correct number of that kind of mana bean, and so on. And then feed them one at a time into here, say 9 of that. Let's get some fuel. Pop that in there. And it's only one kind of Essentia being produced because mana beans each only have one. So I pop a label on there. And when that finishes up, the result from 9 mana beans will be 9 of that Essentia. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with that procedure through the rest of each of these, and then we'll try this again, perhaps without the extra unwanted lightning. Alright, having corrected for my blunder, I now have jars of Essentia down here to supply what the need is for this particular operation. I've got all my spare ingredients on the hotbar in case anything should vanish or otherwise be corrupted. And now, you know, I am going to do one other thing. I'm going to make a little bit of insurance here. I'm going to make some crystal clusters. One for each flavor. Of various different kinds of shards. And then I'll place them around that to help beef up the instability insurance. Alright, I got some crystals in place here which should help improve the stability situation. So let's start this operation. The Essentia is being brought out of the jars, and I'm watching for any of these items to disappear out of turn. Okay, and it's drawing the juice out of one jar after the other. Good. Everything looks good. And this will result in being able to make a wand that can hold far more than 50 beads, 75 I believe, which will just nicely be enough for this node moving operation that I'm contemplating. Alright, crystals and such are being infused into the item. And bingo. Okay. Silverwood rod. Alright. Now, the next step is going to be the thaumium wand caps. Yeah. And that's going to be thaumium cap with 3 solus mundus around it on the machine over here. And it will infuse with 6 each of ordo, ignis, and air. Okay. Let me go ahead and get those jars topped up with that many mana beans, and we'll do that. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've made up the thaumium wand caps. And they need to be processed in here, one at a time. Got that, and we've got, let's see, we need the Salus Mundus, like so, around it. I think that's approximately right. Alright, and then we go whack that thing with a wand to get it started. And I've made up the essentials here. I was wrong about the essentials. The essentials listed here was for crafting the caps. The essentia here is for infusing them. And so that's taken care of. Hello. Okay, now we have a charged thaumium wand cap. Now it's just a matter of repeat the procedure. Okay, and I put enough essentia in each of those jars to do the operation twice. What I'm going to have to do really soon is arrange to have 51 jars, each with just exactly at least 1 essentia, so that I can label it, so that I'll have a jar for each kind of essentia. And then we're going to get with that Direwolf 20 method of keeping essentia jars filled and whatnot. Okay, let's see. Now, the next step should be in here. And craft the silverwood rod with the thaumium wand caps. And I'm going to need 54 of each essentia. Alright, let me switch. See if that gives me enough discount. It does on everything except air and water. So let's see. And this wand is no better. And that one is certainly no better. So I'm going to have to take these wands and go around and charge them up. And may this be the last time I need, well actually this is the next to the last time that I need to go do this before I do something. Alright. Got everything recharged again. It's about a 15-minute flight around the world trying to find all the stuff to recharge everything with. And sometimes more than that. Alright, so we take this, pop it in here. Still insufficient V, but switch back to this stuff. And now we have just enough. Boom. Silverwood wand core. And this puppy holds, I believe, well, let's have a look. 100 Vs. Alright. So, that is a big step in the right direction. Now, I was looking around in here and I came across this, the wand recharge pedestal. Now, it needs one of these primal charms, which is 25 of each V, plus a Salus Mundus and some gold and one of each kind of crystal to make. So I'm going to go ahead and make that, and then I'm going to use it to make this wand recharge pedestal. A pedestal, a couple of diamonds, some gold, and that primal charm with some aspects in here that I can distill from mana beans and put over there. So I'm going to get everything ready to go, and we're going to make this wand recharge pedestal and the compound recharge focus that goes with it. So I'm going to get everything together to make those things, and we'll get it done. Alright, getting stuff ready here, and I gotta say, it really is nice dealing with using the mana beans, because I only have to cook up the exact ones that I need. I don't have extra aspects floating around in the atmosphere, and for that matter, it will make working with this a whole lot better and easier, because again, you only put in the aspects you need, not something that has what you need and 3 or 4 other things. Alright, now let's get the layout here. Pedestal in the middle, diamond either side, gold, and primal charm. Alright, we have the primal charm, we have a pedestal, diamond, gold, and diamond. Alright. Go ahead and whack this with a wand. And that should get us our recharge pedestal. And the fact that I filled these jars with just a little bit more than they actually need is okay, because it'll stay in the jars and be ready and available for the next time something is needed. Components are dissolving and becoming part of it. There we go. Wand recharge pedestal. Now the way this is supposed to work, pop it down there, and here's our brand new wand with nothing in it. Click that on there, and apparently it draws V from nearby nodes to recharge it with. Of course, I know for a fact there aren't any nodes exactly nearby, so no telling how long it would take to charge all of that. So, let's see, there is the next step here, and that's this compound recharge focus. Redstone comparator, 4 V filters, 4 earth shards, and again some more of these things. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready, and we'll put this on here, and then I'm going to move a node. Okay, this is all set up. Got all our components in place, so let's do this thing. I must say, it is visually impressive. The aspects flying up out of the jars, then the various components dissolving and becoming part of the item being infused, in this case a redstone comparator. Hello. Alright, looking good. Should about finish it. There we go. Now, as I understand it, this goes atop here. And let's see if it does any better at recharging this wand that has never been charged. Well, I can't tell, honestly. But I know what I need to do anyway. I need to switch out to this, grab this thing, and get it charged up. Alright, it took me rather a while to fill this thing with 100 of each of the 6 primary Vs aspects, but I got her done. And now I'm thinking to begin the project of making it easier to recharge. And basically, where each bit of cobble is, alright, I'm going to need to adjust these. Symmetry, you know. Is that what the word was? Symmetry I used? Maybe I shouldn't have. Okay. That's the basic idea. And in each of the place of each one of these bits of cobble, I'm going to move a node. Now I've got the glass, I've got the slabs, so I'm going to head out and find a node to move. And I think the first one is going to be that one that's in the center up there, Herba, Terra, Ignis, and Aqua. It's got 4 aspects on it, and it's one that I visit fairly frequently. So let's get that sucker moved and make it easier to access. Alright, here we are. Right here on the water. Let's see. Okay. Alright, there we go. And now that's under there. Go ahead and build. Come on. Where's my flight control? There we go. Just build a giant virtual jar around it. And then the slabs. And here's the part that gets expensive. Whack it with a wand that has at least 70 Vs in it. Turn flight control off. And now I can just break the jar. And I've got a node in a jar. And now I'm going to fly back to the base and set that in place. Okay, here we are. Now I just take that node in a jar, set it down on here, and I believe I should just be able to do that. It breaks the jar, the node is sitting there, and there it will sit. And now I'm going to pop this wand in here, and now it can get a recharge from the node. It's going to take a while, but the aspects that the node contains will gradually recharge those parts of what's in the wand. And once the wand is recharged as much as it's going to get here, I'll go out and get the other aspects and bring in more nodes until I've got enough nodes in here to guarantee that I can always recharge this thing without having to travel all over Hell's Half Acre to do it. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.